Welcome to the episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. We are dwindling down to the final two episodes of the GOAT. This one is wild, crazy, and has a shocking ending to it all. 14 reality superstars have moved into the GOAT Manor to face off in a brand new hilarious competition show hosted by Daniel Tosh. They compete over 20 challenges, earning and breaking one another's trust as they battle it out for $200,000 in the title of the GOAT. Folks, we've had 9 eliminations so far, leaving us with 5 individuals. Joey Sasso was eliminated number 1. Tasha Williams, episode 2. Lauren Speed Hamilton, episode 3. Kristen Doty in episode 4. Justin / Alyssa, episode 5, along with Tech Holmes in episode 5. Resin, episode 6. Episode 7, we saw our first power play move. Wendell, and then my sleeper to win it all last week was eliminated in CJ. The house is just going up in shambles because they all know one thing, that Day Vaughn is on her way to win this competition, and the only way they can stop her is winning the competitions and the challenges within this show. But of course, we get the reveal of Day. Devon and Jason are talking about their super secret alliance. They've had it since day one and nobody knows it. I really do love this super secret alliance and how we're just finding out about it. It's so cool just to see the aspect of this game and see little, intricate things that we're just finding out this late in the game. But Pao is ready to go after Day and approaches Jason to talk strategy. She says she is ready to go after Day. And then, of course, Jason knows Paolo's hand, which means could he say something or could he not say something? Tasha's arrived and we are down to 5. This episode is about dating show. Joe is ready, obviously coming from the dating world, but Pao is also from a dating show. But Joe says Pao is on a dating show too. However, he says her dating show was on TLC and nobody watched that. I mean, he's not wrong, okay? Tosh says, "Are you willing to kill for your spot?" Which is hilarious. And he says, "Grab the biggest knife in the kitchen and come outside. Whoever wins secures a spot in the finale." Before they go out, Jason tells Day that Pao wants her out. So she knows now that Pao is out for Day. This is the final GOAT challenge. Tosh says, "We are going to force you to smooch." And everybody gets freaked out a little bit. Each will give an orange a kiss, and we'll have to hold it against a glass, move it down. But if they drop it, they're out of the competition. And then we randomly see Tosh do monkey bars, which again, I don't know what this guy is, but he's one of the funniest people in the world. Please cast season 2 of the GOAT. I need it in my life. All right, here we go. Our final GOAT is ahead. Joe says the last time he had a one-on-one date, he got engaged. I love Joe. I do. I love Joe a lot. He's funny. He's been the weekly comedy aspect of this show that really has been a surprise. Jill's back is fucked, but she wants to win. Of course, 10 minutes in, everyone is still in, but Joe is hurting because he's tall. This was a disadvantage for him for being so tall because as you bend over, you're bending over backwards and backwards. Like he is the one having to bend the most out of everyone. 20 minutes in and they move to the final line. Everyone is still going, but Vaughn was the first to go. She just couldn't hold it up anymore. We see Joe, who was damn near trying to make out with the orange just to save face, but has been eliminated. Jill is out. It's down to Jason and Pao. They made it to 30 minutes. Jason said, "Let's try to tie so they can drop him at the same time." He was trying to say 1, 2, 3. She wasn't falling for the trick because she was going to have him drop it. And instead of having him drop it, he was going to let her drop hers first, then drop his. But she didn't fall for it. 38 minutes in, Jason dropped, and Pao got her first go to the season. Good for her. Now, this is where I think things get interesting. I think Jason might have thrown this competition understanding that Pao had one mission, and that was to get rid of Day. she trusts, I think, Jason enough to understand that. So because of that, Jason didn't want to be the one to lead the charge to get rid of Day because of his alliance. He could do it behind the scenes. He could vote for her potentially behind the scenes without her knowing about it, right? So, all right, Powell finally wins her first GOAT of the season. And of course, she puts up Davon for elimination. She says she saw her talking to Jason. She knew that she was next. Day comes in and we get a motherfucking battle between these two. Day and Pound get loud, screaming and yelling. Jill's trying to get in the middle of it. These two are yelling. Jill bails. Powell says she heard her talking to Jason and says she was next. Devon says, I'm still here. And Powell says the same thing. And Day says, you're welcome, talking about she's only here because I brought you along for the ride, which, I mean, Day says you're welcome. Powell calls her out and calls her a bitch, and Davon goes the fuck off. Day got straight in her face. Shit's getting loud. Joe runs to get Joe to split them up. Joe is breaking them up, but while simultaneously laughing at the same time, which was hilarious. Joe's trying not to laugh. He said, he says trying to laugh and says to the camera, "I'm a 37-year-old man, and this is my life." Day says, "As much as I want to do things to you, I'm gonna pray for you." Here we go. The ninth elimination challenge. They are here to herd goats. One by one, they will enter the goats into the farm. 10 of the goats have symbols. They must match them together by pairs into the goat cages. Slowest person loses and will face Day in the elimination process, unless, of course, Day wins. Powell goes first. She's excited. Doesn't do great. Does do okay. Jill doesn't do a bad job. Joe sucks at this competition, which basically has become like a weekly thing. He sucks at basically every competition, which has been hilarious. It's Day's turn. She's slowly getting it rolling. However, shit hit the fan fast. It was wild to see it go from starting strong to hitting the fan fast, which ultimately led to Jason winning the challenge and that one little slip up by Davon. By 17 seconds, she lost to Jason. And of course, means she's staying up on the block. And then on the flip side of that, Joe got last place and he will be up for elimination again. He said he must get political because his ass was not to be eliminated. Day tries to make some moves. She knows Jill is on her side and Jason will keep his alliance with her. Jason tells the camera he isn't sure what to do. Joe approaches Jason again, says Joe pitches that he knows he can win. He can't win against. He can win against him, but not against Day, which is the biggest thing that you're going to see here. This to me is the smartest thing that you could have done. Obviously, Davon probably deserved to win the show, but when you cut the head off the beast, you know that going head to head towards the finale, you might not win against Day because if it's competition based, it's voting based. We're not 100% sure. So 2 votes for Day, 2 votes for Joe. Will they pull the trigger? And they finally did. They pulled the trigger on Davon being eliminated, meaning the most powerful, most strong person in this show is gone on her way out the door. I will say it was hilarious. She said, no matter what, who wins this competition, the show was carried by her. So they will always be recognized next to her because of what she did for this show. She's not wrong. Devon played a hell of a game. It's sad not to see her get to the finale. It really, really, really is because I'm not 100% certain that she didn't deserve to win this whole damn thing the way she played the game, but maybe she overplayed her hand a little bit too much here towards the end of the game. But that being said, we have 4 competitors left going into the finale: Joe, Jill, Jason, and Pow. I'll give my power rankings in just a minute. We saw a preview for next week's episode, which sees everybody return to GOAT Manor. Could this mean whoever's going to vote, are you going to vote for a winner at the end of the competition? That's where I think if that's the case, it's going to be interesting to see because you have 4 very likable people left in the house. So the house could be divided relatively well. All right. My weekly GOAT power rankings are as follows. Coming in at 4th place is Joe. Joe made it through another one. He made it through another elimination. Somehow he's just skirting right on by. I can see why. He's an easy person to put up. If you make it to the final 2 with Joe, I'm pretty sure you're going to win the competition, especially if it comes down to voting based. Jill. Unsure about Jill. Made moves early, but this back injury has kind of put her in a position where of being kind of a weakness. Jason, he's been playing under the radar, and I love it. I love the way we've seen Jason kind of move and make the moves that he's done because we don't see a lot of his game playing, which I would love to chat with him one day about. But Jason, he's been playing under the radar, and I love it. And then, of course, I'd be crazy not to mention that Pow, she chopped the head of the goat and won. She eliminated her. She eliminated Devon, which means she's number one in my weekly power rankings. Folks, who do you think is going to win the GOAT Season 1? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.